Hello there, my name's Luke Stewart, and I'm going to be talking about Luke Skywalker. The many faces of Luke Skywalker. So, I'll show you in a second, but there's a lot of figures in front of me. There's two figures in specific that prompted me to make this video. This has been a topic that's been on my mind, the inconsistencies that Hasbro demonstrates constantly, time and time and time again, for years now. They just can't seem to get Mark Hamill's face right, so they keep changing it, like, with every release, and they change it a lot. So anyhow, there's this thing that Target is selling. It is Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back Digital Release Commemorative Collection. So there are 6 of these. I don't know why there's not 9. If it's a Skywalker saga, there should be 9, right? But there's only 6 of them. They all are repacks. Oh my god, the back of the box is really cool. I didn't see that. Wow. I might keep it for the box, if anything. Basically, this Luke figure, like, sucks. And I'll show you, like, close up in a second. They could have done way better. Meanwhile, this figure is just so good. It's so good, but it's still not right. And I'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, let me show you everything I'm looking at in front of me right now. Aside from myself, because I'm using the front camera of my iPhone, but I digress. Alright, so this is what I'm working with. None of them really quite look the same. We'll get to that one later. None of them have the same likeness. I'm gonna run down the list. Let's start with, I guess, the oldest figure I have. This is a 1997 or 1998 Power of the Force Luke that came in, what was it? It was Palpatine, Vader, and Luke with the Emperor's throne. I think this figure looks okay. I really do. For a Kenner figure for the 90s, I mean, man, this is better than what we've got recently. So just comparing that to this, right? Now, I did say these are repacks, which obviously, you know, hey, maybe give them a free pass because they're repacks, and, you know, this is only $20, so you're getting 4 figures for $20, but I don't care if I'm getting 4 figures for $20 if one of the 4 figures is, like, actually absolute trash. I did have a Kenner Bespin Luke I wanted to show that came out around the same time as this, but I can't find it. So it would have been the best example, but look at that. That face. Look at the body. Look at...
Everything is so weak about that figure.
This is bottom tier Luke Skywalker here. Whereas Bosk looks awesome. IG-88 looks awesome. And the Vader, while we could have done with some soft goods for his waist cape thing, I don't think I can really complain too much about Vader, because it looks like Vader. So, we were given this for a commemorative collection. This is something for collectors, not kids. So collectors are supposed to be okay with that. That's the best they could do for the one on the box. That's... Someone at Hasbro said,
hey, get me one of the new figures.
They didn't even bother looking at the eyes and seeing if it looked okay. But yeah, so let's get this piece of shit out of the way. Not that the Bosk and the IG-88 aren't great. I mean, like I said, they're awesome. And now we're going to take our attention to Black Series because, you know, Black Series, those are kind of what a lot of people consider to be the peak of Star Wars collecting, right? At least right now. Well, obviously Sideshow kind of, you know, does the best, but for the price range is what I'm referring to, you know? So, I like this. I think it does the job pretty well. The eyes on mine aren't perfect. I went over this before, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. The eyes aren't the same. I don't like the way the right eye is printed, but I love the way the left eye is printed. And, you know, ultimately, it looks like Mark Hamill. It really, really does look like Mark Hamill. So I think this is probably the best Luke Skywalker figure, and it's a bummer that
he just has that the white on his head. There was no interchangeable head there. I'm just gonna lay him down. Okay, cool. Just like he was laying down on Hoth. We're gonna take our attention to this one. This one's a little different because the face is painted. I mean, not the face. The skin is painted, so it's not actually cast in this color. So they painted the face, and they painted all the details on the face. I think it looks pretty okay. Not perfect, but it definitely has the likeness of Mark Hamill. When I got this figure, it didn't look nor did it feel like Mark Hamill, so I tried painting it, and believe me or not, it looks better than when I got it. I gave up, and I don't even keep this on my shelf. I honestly keep it in a box as a horror story. But oh man, the Last Jedi figures were a tragedy, man. So that's that. I'm gonna throw that back in my box. Now this figure is great. I mean, I don't like I've been very vocal about how I don't like the crotch piece in like most of the Black Series figures. I think they could do better with kind of hiding that big pelvic pocket that you have there for articulation. But you know, in terms of like the upper torso, this is a I'm not gonna try to fix that. This is a kick-ass Luke figure. I've seen some really bad ones, but I got a really good one, despite the hairpiece being glued on a little forward and the ears not being totally there. They're just cut in half. I forgot how bad this one was. And the face is also uneven. Like, the sculpt is really asymmetrical and weird. But, yeah, no good, honestly. Not the best, not the worst, but a very pasty, bleh figure. This one, Vintage Collection Luke. This is a repack of the 2012 Endor Luke. This was re-released at the end of, I think, last year or 2018. Got this one at Ollie's for about $4 a couple weeks ago. It just, not only does it not really look like Luke Skywalker entirely, but the eyes are also printed uneven. So I do still think it's a really cool figure though, right? So even if it doesn't look like the character entirely, there's still a way that a figure can be really dope. And I think in some way this is like an okay figure, but I don't know. Let's see. So next figure, Vintage Collection X-Wing Pilot Luke Skywalker. I was looking for this figure for a while, and when I found it, while I was happy that I got it for $6 on sale at Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, I was disappointed with the face. Yeah, the face looks a little odd. I just don't think it looks like Luke. I think it looks cool, but it ain't Luke. It ain't Mark Hamill. Which confuses me for reasons that we'll get to. Then there's this, a Walmart exclusive, Yavin Luke. Worst quality card back. Look at the fucking photo. And the figure, he's so top heavy. His arms are so lanky and long, and his legs are so small, and I don't know. I mean, it's clearly a repack. It's really aged, you could tell. But the face, I think it does good. I think that's a fine Luke Skywalker face. I would rather have that than this, right? I mean, do people really think this looks better than this? I think this looks really good, but I don't like the body. I wish they could have done better with the body. Then we have this guy. So I got him on the shelf today at Target, and the other one there did not look so good. It was printed very weird. I don't think it looks like Mark Hamill that much, but I think it's a really cool figure. I think it does a really good job of looking kind of animated while also looking totally like Luke. I don't know. I dig it. But the hair doesn't really look like Return of the Jedi Luke, right? It looks very A New Hope-ish. It looks a little mop-toppy. And then we got this one, which is actually literally a Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. I have two of these guys, and the face looks about the same on both of them. I do like this face a little more than the one I just showed you. But I do like, and I don't know, I really like this one. See, when it works, I am really, really easy to please. But when it doesn't work, that's when we get to have these issues, right? So now we're going to look at, we have one Black Series figure here we haven't looked at, and it's this guy. He just came out, and while I think it looks like Luke Skywalker, the face doesn't feel alive. Which, that's when we get into the whole uncanny valley argument about likeness versus accuracy. I think this has accuracy without likeness. I don't know how to explain it, because like the sculpt is it's very clearly Mark Hamill. There's no way to argue that. I mean, it really looks like Mark Hamill, but it just doesn't feel as alive as the Yoda, and it doesn't feel as alive as this one. There's something very emotional about this face here. It's pretty. It's very, very pretty. The eyes are very, very nicely printed. They kind of glow. That smile looks genuine. There's something alive about this figure. But then with this one, I don't really get that sense of life, you know? It feels very heavy. So, that's where that whole argument of, you know, likeness versus accuracy comes in. We have this one from the cave. This is an older figure from, I don't know what year, probably 2003 or 2004. Here, let's see. I know it's a little hard to get because he has the visor, so there's a lot of darkness on his eyes, but obviously that's not the best figure. He's very, very dark. Mark Hamill has never been that dark. I mean, big difference. So, yeah, I've never been too fond of this figure because it was really weird. This kind of sculpting method with the articulation, and it's not 5 POA, but it certainly doesn't do very much for the way that the articulation is limited. But we're not talking about the articulation, we're talking about the faces. This one is from 2004. It is the original trilogy collection, which was kind of the predecessor, or not kind of, I mean quite literally the predecessor to the Vintage Collection. This face is terrible. Just a terrible, terrible figure. I was really happy to get it at the time. My mom was more than happy to buy it for me. It put a smile on her face, but the damn thing can hardly stand, and it's a flimsy piece of crap at this point, and I really want them to redo this figure with that face, with the new Return of the Jedi Luke face, because it could really use it, and it would pay off immensely. This is the Luke Skywalker from Dagobah Training, upside down version. And then I also have, of course, this figure came with an alternate head, which I'm using for my Bespin Duel Luke. I'm gonna focus. There we go. I think that figure looks great. Looks like Mark Hamill, but it also looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, which is fine. It's fine. It looks good. It captures the likeness. It feels alive. To me, this looks like a scene. It feels like a scene right from him facing off Vader, you know, scared as shit, dirty. Look at his hair. Look at his facial expression. It's not perfect, but it's a small figure, so it doesn't have to really be perfect as long as it feels like Mark Hamill. Look at that. So I love this figure. But this figure actually came with this head. Is it gonna focus? Really? Are you not gonna focus? I guess not. My arm started cramping holding it up so long. Oh man. So let's see if it'll focus when I do this. Maybe it'll be like some magic. Oh god, I hate this figure. This figure just got so much worse for me. Look at that. It's so bad. this is also a repack. So I got this figure like a few months ago, but it is literally just a repack of a 2012 Luke. So I think that head's a lot better. Really kind of fits the vibe a lot more, right? Also, when I was mentioning or when I was talking about the crotch on the Black Series figures before, I really think Black Series would benefit from this approach right here. Even though you can't move the legs necessarily forward and up as easy, it really, look, sorry, I was off camera, I didn't realize. Look, it looks better. It really, the pelvis area looks a lot more appealing. And then we have, what have we not shown yet? Oh yeah, this guy. So this figure, while not the best, I still think it captures the essence somehow a lot more than some of these. And also it's a 5 POA figure I got at Five Below for like $3 recently, so I'm not going to complain about it too much, but this isn't a repack, and that's why I'm not mad about it. 5 POA was a cheap alternative to the more expensive items. So, you know, while a lot of collectors adopted them, it wasn't intended for collectors. These were the kids' figures. But, you know, I don't even see how this face here could turn into this face. I just don't comprehend how Hasbro is trying to pass this off as the same character. Sorry. There's not a lot of room here. There's a lot of shit, and I don't want to like knock over all the figures, but yeah, I mean, I'm just a little torn. I don't really know. I mean, I still think this captures Mark Hamill very, very well, and I think this captures Mark Hamill very, very well. And I really do think that if they could have just gotten this head and made it smaller for this figure, maybe it would have been in a different place. Maybe the figure would have looked a little more like Mark Hamill, but the point is it has the essence of Luke. So for me, that's what counts ultimately. I mean, really, I'm not going to complain about a figure that isn't completely accurate, because at the end of the day, they're all pieces of plastic, and while we want our figures to look like the characters they resemble, there's no real surefire way for that to always happen due to their plastic, tiny nature inhibiting them from that at times, you know. But my gripe here isn't that bad Luke figures exist, it's that good Luke figures exist and they're still releasing the bad ones. So, this is what I had to show you today. I hope this video addressed an important topic. Sorry for my setup. I'm just getting back into this video thing, so it's gonna evolve. I mean, I've been renovating my... renovating isn't really grand over-exaggeration of what I've been doing. I just put up some LEDs and I've been procrastinating on actually doing anything else here. But look at all my old customs back there. Still on display. All the decals are still fine. They lasted 10 years. But yeah, this has been Luke, talking about Luke. Oh, and let me know which figure's your favorite and which is your least favorite. I mean, seriously, there has to be one you like absolutely love and one you absolutely hate, right? I really hope it's that one over there. That one is so bad.
Oh boy.